Like, I'm at that point where I'm like, a genocide is happening on the other side of the border. You are watching this, and you know that all of this is made up because of a bunch of powerful people decide to make this a nation. So to justify that by being like, oh, this is the home of the Jews. And there's actually no biblical argument.
Yes, there is.
There's no research that supports that claim.
Tons of it.
Nothing. In fact, there's very much research to the contrary.
Not true. Hey folks, we're gonna react to another video. This time it's Candace Owens. What we're gonna do is go through a video that she just posted and talk about it. And the reason we're going to give her more airtime as she spews her anti-Semitic rhetoric is because we need to know what the answers are. When she throws something out there, I'm gonna give you what the truth is and how you'll know it's the truth. Hey, and also, I would love for you guys to comment right now. What do you think about Candace Owens? What do you think about what she says about Israel and the Jewish people? Do you think she's right? Do you think she's wrong? Now, keep it clean. We've had terrible things said on our comments about Israel and my support for Israel. People will say, I am paid by Israel. I wish I were. What we do for Israel is very expensive and no one pays me. We do it because we believe it's right. But I do want to hear from you, so put your comments in there as we go through this video and my response to Candace Owens.
Now I got to show you this. Obviously, much has happened. I hate to say this, but I'm somewhat relieved that Israel has gone masked down, because now we're over this very long period of what about October 7th, where they were gaslighting us and pretending that they were just, responding.
Okay. Israel is now masked down. What does that mean? What she's saying that is Israel isn't fighting Hamas. They're not fighting for their own survival. They're not combating evil. They have something else going on. And it's all of this conspiracy. It's these, these Jews are trying to take over the world. These Jews with all their money are trying to take over Israel. Well, Israel is their land. And so they actually, Gaza is also part of their land. Now, I'm not saying what they should do about Gaza, but they were attacked. Hamas was broadcasting the attack. This is not some false flag. This isn't some conspiracy. Israel was attacked by Hamas. Let's continue.
To October 7th, and those of us who were early being like, this is clearly, they're just going to take over the land. They're imperializing, and they're going to mass murder a bunch of women and children.
Okay, so she just says stuff like that. It's imperializing. Like they're colonialists. Folks, do you know that more than half the Jews in Israel are not of Eastern or Northern European descent? Brown skin, dark skin, black skin. So they're not imperialists. They're not colonizing. They're not trying to wipe out and murder children and women. 100% they are not. I've been there. I know them. They're not doing that. They're doing everything they can to avoid that. But when you have Hamas hiding behind the women and hiding behind the reporter, guess what's going to happen? You're going to have, unfortunately, collateral damage. They could have immediately killed everyone in Gaza if they wanted to. They have the power, but they've been as careful as they can be. They've lost hundreds of young men. Hundreds of young soldiers have died because of how careful they have to be. I'm not saying it's a nice place in Gaza. It's not. But it's not Israel's fault. It's Hamas's fault.
We've been gaslit for so long. And finally, Israel is like, yeah, no, actually, F it. Yeah, we're killing journalists. And we're just saying there's a Hamas tunnel under all of them. Yep, this is a headline, actually. And I would show you the footage, but it's too violent. It wouldn't be okay for YouTube. It would get stricken on YouTube. Israel killed 5 Al Jazeera journalists in an airstrike.
Okay. The one that they were targeting, al-Sharif, was a Al Jazeera journalist who is seen kissing Sinwar, or Sinwar kissing him. That doesn't seem like an impartial journalist, does it? And when there's an uprising in Gaza against Hamas, he's nowhere to be found. The reporter is AWOL, and the people are chanting his name because they think he should be covering the uprising against Hamas. Why isn't he there? Because he's Hamas. Israel has proof of this. He is very, very, very much pro-Hamas and Hamas himself. So Israel does a strike. Now, of course, the headlines, NBC News, Israel kills 5 journalists in airstrike, claiming one worked for Hamas. And so this is her reaction to this, that Israel's just taking off the mask and we're just going to, just without making it a show anymore. We're just going to start taking out journalists. That is not true, Candace.
Claiming that one of them worked for Hamas. Like, that's all they have to do. By the way, if you're watching this and you're a serial killer, if you get caught, you should just say that one of them, somebody was in Hamas. Like, one of your victims, and then I guess nobody should care. I mean,
are you kidding me? That's your argument, Candace Owens? You're going to say, well, okay, all you serial killers out there, but what does that mean, Candace? That means they're watching your podcast, right? What a weird thing to say.
I mean, I would just go to court. No matter what you do in life, by the way, if you are somehow breaking the law, I highly suggest, if you're watching this program, that you just weave it into Hamas. Like,
you can't watch this woman. For her to try to be intelligent and use that stupid argument, I think it's tongue in cheek, but it's still stupid that she would bring that up. No one thinks that that's what Israel's doing. She makes no sense to me. Don't waste your time on her. Stop watching her.
You rob a bank. Oh, well, I took it from the bank because the bank had actually gotten the money from Hamas. There was a weird transaction with Hamas. The fact that they have been running this repeat absurd narrative after they have been mass murdering everybody, there's a tunnel, it's Hamas, is beyond ridiculous.
Okay, so the tunnels are Hamas, okay? Who else is building tunnels in Gaza? Why would you have a tunnel in Gaza? I don't have a tunnel. We're here in our Quentin Road Baptist Church in Lake Zurich, Illinois. We don't have any tunnels. If you have a tunnel, you might be trying to connect like buildings between buildings. But in Gaza, there's miles and miles of tunnels paid for by humanitarian aid money. Oh, does that tunnel help the humanitarian needs of the Gazans? Is the tunnel feeding the civilians? No, the tunnel is a military tactic. The reason they have it is to transport fighters underground so Israel can't kill them. So just the fact that they have tunnels, Candace, means it's a terroristic organization, and the so-called journalist was part of them.
And now they're murdering journalists, and obviously the entire world should be calling this a crime, but Zionists pay people so well that people won't say it's a crime.
What she's saying is satanic, folks. Don't ever believe that it's this Zionist money that's controlling everything. It's not. God has blessed the Jewish people. Many are successful. I don't doubt that, and I actually don't hold that against them. Do you know how much money Jewish people give to causes, good causes? I've been in part of Jewish community in the Chicago area, and I've been to a lot of the benefits, and boy, they are generous people, and they give toward people that are in need. A lot of money. So to act like they're using the money to control the world is wrong. It's not true. And don't believe that kind of garbage. It's a satanic argument with no basis.
They'll say it was an accident, or they will take this line that one of them worked for Hamas. They never have to present evidence, but you work with Hamas.
They did present evidence. You look at the evidence of the IDF that he worked for Hamas, it is there. She can just say, well, they don't have evidence. They don't have to provide evidence. They control the world with their money. No. Folks, don't listen to this stuff. It's not true.
It's like saying Candace works with Russia, right? Work with Hamas. And so they have been targeted. They were targeted. They were killed because they are showing you what's happening on the ground as they imperialize and they take this land. That's what they're doing. They're expanding their borders into Syria. They're
expanding the borders into Syria. That's a security issue. Listen, what did God give Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob? From the Nile to the Euphrates. You know what they have? Today, they have like 8% of that. And Gaza is this little sliver. Israel basically pulled out of Gaza. They didn't want Gaza. They pulled out of Gaza, Candace. This Zionist, imperialist, colonialist power pulls out of Gaza 20 years ago. Oh, yeah, they really want to take it over. They don't want to take it over, but I think they're going to be left to having to because none of these other Arab nations will do what's right and help these poor people. So what is Israel left to do, Candace? Go there. Take a vacation to Gaza, Candace. You could talk all you want, but go there and then come back and let's hear what you say.
They're involved everywhere where Christians are being slaughtered. They've been doing this in the Middle East for a very long time. They are used to this deceptive plan.
Okay, so she's also saying that Christians are being slaughtered by Israel, by the Jews. That is not true either. Now, Christians are being slaughtered, but by the Muslims. Was there an errant mortar that hit a church in Gaza? Yes, that wasn't intentional. They're not targeting Christians. As a matter of fact, most of the Jewish people that I know in Israel, and I know a lot of Jewish people, I've been in the the home of the president of Israel. We've had audiences with him twice. I've been with ministers. I've been with Knesset. I've been in the Knesset several times. You know what they think about Christians? They love Christians. The Jewish people in Israel love Christians. Why? Because evangelical Christians are the only group that aren't Jewish that are supporting Israel. And Candace, you should be one of them.
Of gaslighting the public and using their allies and media to do it. Very clear this is an assassination. And I don't think they really care anymore because there have been no consequences. So why would they stop?
There have been no consequences? The whole world is against Israel. The whole world is claiming that Palestine should be a state and are declaring that right now. France and Canada, now Australia is going to recognize the state of Palestine, although they have no government. They have no way to have a state today. It's meaningless, but the whole world's against Israel. And she acts like Israel's controlling the whole world. She's not in reality.
But there was a video that was going viral that I wanted to show you guys because I didn't, as much as I learned about Israel, and I don't support them at all anymore, and I'm ashamed that I ever did.
I'm ashamed.
I am still shocked
at
the reality of what you are allowed to do if you just say or become Jewish. Like if you convert to Judaism, right? You suddenly are qualified to all sorts of things in Israel, which I was not aware of. And this user on Instagram does a pretty good job of, I think, alerting the world to how ridiculous the circumstances are in Israel altogether. Take a listen to what Jeannie shares.
If I decided to convert to Judaism, I could apply for Aliyah, the law of return. They would also give me a cash grant of $4,200 to $4,700 USD. You know, a little money to help me settle, and then I'd get 6 to 12 months of free health care. And if a Palestinian child throws a rock at a tank that is currently running through his town, demolishing all the homes, well, he'll be arrested and held indefinitely without trial. If I, as a non-Jew, could convert and then move over there and get hundreds of thousands of dollars, but a Palestinian who's been there for hundreds of years is locked up for fighting back.
So Candace giving that woman platform, and you know, in your mind, what you have is this little boy, and this tank just destroyed the little boy's house, and this little boy throws a little rock at the tank. That's not what happens. I've been there. I've had teenagers whipping rocks at a gate that just closed behind our bus. It's scary, folks. And it's just like, well, they're just fighting back for what they own. No. They're fighting to annihilate the Jewish people. The Jewish people have a right to the land. They have an eternal right to the land. They've always lived there. They have returned since the late 1800s. After World War II and the Holocaust, they've returned in mass. It is a land that they deserve. Now, what about the Palestinians? Well, plenty of them live in peace. And so there's ways to do that, but not terrorism and not coming into Be'eri and Nahal Oz and slaughtering babies. And people say, well, that didn't happen. No, it did. Hamas filmed it. It's on their social media. It's on their Telegram. They filmed it. They were calling their parents all excited about this. Does she not know that? I guess she doesn't. I guess it's all okay that there's this, because Israel's the bad guy. No. Israel's not the bad guy. And by the way, what other countries pay you to come live there? Greece does, Italy does, Switzerland does, Ireland does. So don't act like that's a big deal, like that's wrong. It's not wrong.
Completely and utterly ridiculous, psychopathic, ethnocentric. When she says it in that regard of like, hey, if I did this today, here's what would happen, you really appreciate the absurdity of what is happening and what has been happening for a very long time. And it's partially because we've all been miseducated. That's the reality. I supported Israel and it was like a sleepy support. Like, I don't know, it's in the Middle East. I don't really care. I've got other stuff going on in America. And then the more that I read, and you just realize the sleight of hand here, it's like gypsies.
She is so derogatory. It's a sleight of hand. It's like gypsies. Listen, the bottom line is Israel is a kind and moral nation. I'm not saying every last thing they've ever done is right, but as a whole, as a general statement, Israel is a moral and good nation. And they're not out to kill Gazans or Palestinians if they're innocent. But they have to eradicate Hamas because it's a wicked entity. And Israel didn't start this. This came from Hamas a terrible, terrible day, the worst day in the history of Israel since they became a nation. Nothing worse has ever happened to them. And I think until you go there and see it and experience it and talk to people, maybe you wouldn't get it. And she's saying she wasn't educated right. No, I think she was educated right, but now she's been reading conspiracy theorist stuff that seems to be factual, but it's not. If you dig a little deeper into what she's about to say, it's totally debunked. Well, let's see what she says.
It's literally like gypsies. It's like, we are now going to say that we're not just a religion, but we're also an ethnicity. And now we're a place. Now they're saying, if you even critique Israel, you've critiqued all Jews. That's a trick. That's a sleight of hand.
Candace, Israel is the name of Jacob. God changed the name of Jacob, which was the heel grabber, the one that would trip people up, to the one that wrestles with God, okay? So when you say Israel, you're saying the descendants of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and Jacob's son Judah is the area around Jerusalem, the area of Judah, the tribe of Judah. So Jew is synonymous with Israel. It's one and the same. Yes, it's an ethnic people group because they've been living in dispersion across the world, but God is bringing them back. And just the fact that they're back today is a miracle of God. That shouldn't have happened. The fact that it did means that they are a special, unique people that we should support and not criticize.
And we have been the rubes. Like, we have accepted this, and there's not whatever. It is what it is, as they have just been increasing their borders and mass murdering people.
Increasing their borders. It's slivers. Okay, it's slivers. And anytime they've increased their borders, it's when they were attacked. If Israel was never attacked, they would never, ever attack. I promise you that. And you look at historically, and that's the case.
And this is in part because of the media, which lies on behalf of whoever gives them more money to lie, right? These are state actors. But now that we know this truth, like I said, it is incumbent upon us to make sure that we tell our children exactly what it is that is happening there.
Don't tell that to your children.
What happened there. And that we
tell your children what happened there on October 7th. Tell your children that.
Business with them. Like, I'm like Jared Kushner, Ivanka. What are you doing? I just don't know how you guys look yourselves in the mirror knowing what's happening there, and you have small children. I don't care who it is that is invested in Israel. Like, I will be grossed out if somebody goes on a trip to Israel.
I go on trips to Israel all the time, and I'm glad she's grossed out at me. I don't even know her. But I'm grossed out at her for what she's saying right now.
Like, I'm at that point where I'm like, a genocide is happening on the other side of the border. You are watching this, and you know that all of this is made up.
It's not.
Because of a bunch of powerful people decide to make this a nation. So they had to justify that by being like, oh, this is the home of the Jews. And there's actually no biblical argument.
Yes, there is.
There's no research that supports that claim.
Tons of it.
Nothing. In fact, there's very much research to the contrary.
Not true.
People were very upset when I shared Abraham Pollock's book.
So it is the Khazars that she's saying were not really Jewish people, but they were Turks, basically, is what Pollock was saying. What she's saying, a lot of people say this, and it's 100% not true. And they don't compare the same. They are not the same. The Ashkenazi Jews genetically are linked to the Middle East. So there's Ashkenazi, which are like let's call them the European. You also have the Sephardic Jews that are like Spain and Portugal. And then you have the Mizrach Jews that are like in the Middle East. They were kind of in Yemen and other places like that. Most of the Jewish people in Israel today, more than 50%, or I'd say the majority, so it's like 47% is the majority, are not Ashkenazi. So this idea that these Europeans really aren't Jews, well, Hitler really messed up, didn't he? He really messed up. He thought he killed 6 million Jews and he just killed 6 million Turks. Wow, he really screwed up. And all those Jewish people that wore the yellow star, they screwed up too, because they really weren't Jewish. They thought they were, but they really weren't. They have no ethnic claim to the land, is what she's saying, and what Pollock was saying. And by the way, Pollock, in his research, in the day it was applauded, he was at the University of Tel Aviv, but today no one looks at his research as credible anymore, because it has been disproven.
Which they decided to discontinue after 1943, despite awarding him, Abraham Pollock, with the Bialik Jewish Thought Leader of the Year award, despite allowing him to establish, because of his remarkable researching capabilities, the Middle Eastern Department of Studies at Tel Aviv University. And he said, yeah, we're the Khazars. We're the missing Khazarian Empire. That's who we are. Yeah, we actually just mass converted to Judaism in the 8th century. Yeah, the Khazarians just decided to pretend they were Jewish, according to their research, in the 8th century. And they applauded this book. And then after 1948, the rabbis were like, hey, so we were deciding whether or not we were going to take over Uganda or Israel, or I think they were also taking a look at Madagascar.
Let me pause that. So she's bringing up Uganda and Madagascar. Zionism was looking for a homeland for the Jewish people. They said Israel is our homeland because it is their homeland. Other people were saying, how about these other places? Here's a place that has a lot of land and you can live there. And they're like, no, we are from Israel. We got to go back to Israel. So don't act like it was the rabbis that said, well, we could have had Uganda or wherever. That's not true. That was the European powers were trying to decide where to put the Jews, and the only place that they would accept, and the only place they should accept, is Israel.
1.2. And then they decide on Israel, and they're like, okay, well, it's kind of a tough sell. We're just going to take over people's land. So why don't we try to make this biblical?
They never took over people's land. They bought land. If they were attacked, they conquered land. That's the only time they acquired land legally, never illegally.
And they did that. And they said, okay, now we've got to just get rid of all the books that we publish saying that we actually aren't the original Jews. And they did that. Okay, now we've got to get the ADL very active in smearing anybody who questions it. We also have to turn it into an ethnicity. It's not just a religion anymore, it's an ethnicity. And
by the way, Judaism is an ethnicity. It's a faith. So if you're Jewish, you're ethnically descendant of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. If you practice Judaism, you're practicing the faith of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And if you're doing it in the land of Israel, the land of Judah, which is where Jerusalem is, so that's the differentiation. But folks, they're all pretty much the same thing. It's in one category. It's not like they made up the ethnicity of Jewish or of Israel. They always were, always will be. And genetics is proving that out. Genetics of the Ashkenazis and the Sephardics and the Mizrahis, they're all from the Middle East. They're all from Israel, and that's being proven today. And she's wrong on this.
Yeah, they've done all of that. Crazy. I also appreciate this headline, Times of Israel. Netanyahu, if we wanted to commit genocide, it would have taken exactly one afternoon. We could have just killed them all in one afternoon. We didn't do that, which proves that it's not a genocide. No, what it proves is that you were trying to do this as you've always done it, which is deceptively, right? False flag. It's just a response.
So when she says false flag, is she saying Hamas didn't really come in and kill hundreds of women and children and babies and rape and all of that stuff? Is that what she's saying? This was Israel that did this? So this is 100% wrong. We know that in real life. She's wrong on this. And if she's suggesting it, she is a demonic anti-Semite. Don't listen to her. Don't give her any more bandwidth, because she's off the rails and she's spewing what Satan wants to spew. The devil hates God. The devil hates God's earthly people, the people of Israel.
Oh, the response is taking longer than we thought the response would take. Oh, there's tunnels everywhere. And you just thought that you could really sell this in the media. And you did, by the way, sell it to the media. The media.
So she's saying they did sell it to the media, but Netanyahu said if we wanted to commit genocide, we could have done it in one afternoon. By the way, he's right. Israel has the capability of annihilating Gaza. Done. You don't lose any soldiers. You just destroy the whole place and you go in and you mop up. They could have done that. They didn't. And it's not because they're trying to play a game or false flag. This is reality. This is life. They're doing everything they can to avoid casualties. Candace.
Media has been obviously consistently supporting you, and there's been a near blackout on the topic of what you've been doing to the children. You didn't prepare for independent voices to have a platform. That's what you didn't do. And that is why, despite the fact that you likely planned this for years, I see evidence that you guys planned this for years.
Not true.
You decided that, okay, we're going to slow play this and hope that nobody notices. And now,
nobody's going to notice. Everybody notices Israel.
And like I said, I hope nobody supports Israel ever again.
And independent voices are good. Believe me, they are good. But this is wrong when she can just say whatever she wants to say, and it is contrary to fact and to truth, and it creates this bubbling, this boiling up of anti-Semitism, people are going to react to the words she says to hurt Jewish people. I will stand in the path of anyone trying to hurt a Jewish person because they have been under this for centuries. What she's saying isn't anything new. This is a constant theme of satanic lies about Israel and the Jewish people. It never, ever stops. And she's just the latest voice that I can't believe anyone's listening to, but somehow millions do.
If you're a human being, I hope you never support this nation in any capacity. And you look at everybody sideways who does.
Candace, let's look at you sideways. And I hope that you will understand the errors of your ways, that you will do a little more research, and that you will stop lying about Israel and the Jewish people. I hope that is something today that you've learned, that you've heard, that you've been able to know, that you have to be really careful today to do your own research, to do your own study, to not just listen to someone. Go deeper. Here's what I always recommend. Google the opposing view of what you just heard, and at least listen to it, at least read it, and see if there's an argument that totally blows this person out of the water. And in Candace Owens' case on Israel and anti-Semitism, it 100% does. Listen, God bless you. I hope that this program has been a blessing to you. We have other really great response videos right here on YouTube on our InGrace Israel channel. We have another channel called InGrace Adventures, where we go all over the world looking for evidence of God in creation, and we find it everywhere. Also, you can go to our webpage, ingrace.tv, where we have a lot of resources, books, and videos, and other things that will be a blessing to you. And if you like what we're doing, support InGrace with a gift, and I thank you for that. Don't forget that eternal life is a gift given by God to anyone who will simply put their trust in Yeshua, my Jewish Messiah, my Jewish Savior. He came, he died, he rose again, as predicted in the scriptures, and he's coming back, and he promises to save any who will simply put their trust in him. May God richly bless you and your family.